Myri. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. This episode is called Donald Trump's War Games. Now, we know what happened recently, right, with Venezuela. For a couple weeks, there's been buildup around South America, near Venezuela. So, a lot of people should not be surprised. I seen this coming. It basically was a warning. Why was all these American military close by to the Caribbean, right right next to Venezuela? It just didn't happen yesterday or 2 days ago or 3 days ago, right? It was going on for the last probably 2, maybe 3 months. So I'm not surprised, right? He already been talking about Venezuela for a good while from his last administration. All of this stuff you're seeing happening, right? He wanted to do before. This is just a continuation. He views Venezuela as some type of threat, but it's an investment. Now, recently, Mr. Trump has mentioned that he and the American government is taking over Venezuela, right? After bombing them and doing what they just I can't if you want to say accomplished, right? He's been saying he's taking over the country until they find a suitable leader for Venezuela. That's what he's been saying, right? So Donald Trump's war games, he already had all the ships in the water in right around Venezuela for months. So this is no surprise. He's been talking about Venezuela from like his last administration. This is just a continuation. And now he's threatening the neighbors, right? Colombia. He's saying basically they're next. He's saying they're next. I would not be surprised because a lot of the cartels are based, yeah, man, bless up, always grinding. Um, a lot of the cartels are based in South America, right? They're based in South America. And for the last year, if people did not realize, he put them, labeled them as terrorist groups. So if Colombia has problems with cartels, or if any South American country has problems with cartels, you're a target because your biggest customer is Americans, right? So since the biggest customer, salute to everybody that's joining the live, much respect, right? Since Americans are the biggest customers of narcotics from South America, he wants to stop that money flow. That's what he wants to do. He wants to stop the money flow because he's all about the money, Donald Trump, right? So cartels are terrorists, and if you're a terrorist and if you are holding them, he's not saying that you guys are fully with it, the governments, but that's what he's saying. So he's coming after all of you, right? He's coming after all of you, right? So that's what's going on. He doesn't care, does not give a damn. Remember, this guy's old. Donald Trump's old. He has about 3 years left. So he's going to wreak havoc all over the world. He already put out those tariffs, right, to screw up a lot of people's economy. This is part of a money grab, right? Part of a money grab. Let's see, but let's see what you're saying. Yeah, this is part of a money grab. He wants to stop the money because of all of the narcotics that's been coming in America, and people been making money from it. drug dealers, drug lords, gangs, whatever you want to call it. He's been incarcerating, and other previous governments incarcerating thousands of people, right? Thousands of people he's been incarcerating for narcotics and other previous governments in America. So he wants to stop funding these criminals in jail and outside of jail, right? The ones who are making money on the streets and paying for people in prison to live. And a lot of them are living in prison, eating, and a lot of them are locked up because of drugs, right? And that's the facts. So I'm not surprised about all of this stuff, what's going on with Venezuela. And he's not finished. He's going to Colombia because stereotypically, Colombia, right, is a big drug haven. Colombia's been in the movies for years. It's been in the news for years in American news. So he obviously wants to go there. There's some interest for Trump. He has 3 more years. It seems like he's been there forever. It's only been a year, right? It's only been a year, right? If you want to know what I'm saying, listen closely because I follow the politics. I follow the politics. He's going to Colombia, and after Colombia, Mexico, maybe. He feels sorry for the president there. He says she can't handle it. She's scared of the cartels. Mexico is a known place to have a big haven of cartels. So maybe he's saving that for last. Do you know why he's saving that for last? People saying, why didn't he go to Mexico first? He's saving that for last because it's close, very close to his border, right? It's very close to his border. So that's why he's saving that for last. Cuba, yeah, he's viewing Cuba too. Trust me, he is viewing Cuba also. But Cuba is the same as Mexico. It's too close. He's gonna wait, right? He's gonna wait for that. Guarantees waiting for that. And Mexico is too close. But he's going into Venezuela and Colombia and then probably Mexico. He wants Mexico better show some type of example that they're hard on crime, right? Cuba, I'm not saying they're not into the narcotics game, but no one's really talking about them. They've been quiet ever since their president passed, died, right? And now there's a new guy, but he's been quiet, right? So Mexico's a big problem because a lot of people who over the years, a lot over years and years, been who are from America or not from America, been trying to use that as a haven, right? Right now, he's trying to find that Canadian drug lord who's in South America, right? Ryan Wedding. He's trying to find that guy. The FBI had a conference, what, about a month or so, about this guy that he's one of the main reasons why a lot of drugs been coming into America. So he blames a Canadian drug lord. He's saying it's coming from Canada too, a lot of the drugs, not just South America, but Canada has more, I guess, respect and allies in the world compared to Venezuela, right? The vice president of Venezuela, I don't think she's in the country now, but she is basically saying that Venezuela will never be a colony to a slave nation. He's saying she's saying that about America. They'll never be a colony. Right now, they are a colony. Sorry. As long as America has some type of control over your country, you're a colony right now. This is history. No one's gonna be doing any type of military moving in that country against America. That military in Venezuela gotta remain quiet. They can't move. They can't go anywhere. America controls their airspace. They can't move no type of tanks, nothing, right? So America controls Venezuela. Like they went to Iraq, but they were fighting back. That's the difference. And they took over Iraq, Afghanistan. They done it way back in the days to Japan, right? This is not new to them. But now you got this madman, right? Who's running one of the most powerful country on earth with all the weapons at his disposal. You know, he could use. So Donald Trump war games, yes, he's playing a dangerous game right now, and other countries are watching. Not a good example because now, what are you going to tell Russia about them with Ukraine, right? Obviously, he doesn't really care about the Ukraine and the Russia situation because Russia could be looking on like this. Ukraine, they're doing some type of illegal shit too in their eyes, right? And that's why Russia's in Ukraine. But now America can't really say nothing now in that situation. You know why? Because they're doing, if not worse than Russia. They're just not killing a lot of people yet, right? Colombia, for sure, he's going into Colombia because people don't know. Just listen to this story, right? So we could get this right. The big kingpin, drug lord, one of the biggest, right? He's not even South American. He's a Canadian working with a lot of South American cartels, right? So the FBI is searching for this individual. This individual, Ryan Wedding, is responsible for flooding, for example, Canada with most of the cocaine and flooding a lot of places in America with the cocaine and other drugs. So if this guy's hiding in South America, he's gonna go to the great lengths to find this guy because he believes, and many believe, that some South American government is hiding him. Just 2 weeks ago, and I said this on the other pod, they found, um, they went into a couple of properties and found like a lot of things linked to this guy from Canada, big drug lord, right? Just if you want some information on this guy, there's a podcast called the Original Gangster Podcast, right? Look it up, right? Bless up. You're from Colombia? Oh no, Slovenia. Much respect. Look this guy up and you'll know what I'm talking about. So it's more than just Donald Trump doing what you see him doing. Like I said, for at least 3 months, they had ships in the water. You know, and I don't live in the ghetto. Trolls, trolls, trolls. But yes, I live in Canada. Canada. The Great White North. That's where I'm from. Toronto, if you know Drake. But let's get back to this. Um, a lot of people don't know the real story, right? A lot of people think he's just going after Venezuela. No, it's not just Venezuela. When he was doing his filtration of a lot of the illegal immigrants, a big population of them came from Venezuela and other South American countries, right? There was a problem in Chicago. I don't know if they're gonna blame them, right? That there was Venezuelans killing a lot of people, African Americans, and you know what? I'm not gonna give them a pass either because they're doing illegal business, right? The gangs, the Venezuelan people, some of them, right, with that background, was doing some illegal stuff in America. So Donald Trump, right, targeted target that group or background of people, and put them lock a lot of them up and transferred many of them back to Venezuela. So this is part of the immigration stuff too. Definitely, this is part of the immigration thing. Um, a lot of them will become refugees, right? A lot of them will become refugees and they love this. They'll come right back to America. Mexico is definitely first problem. Yes, but he feels sorry for for that lady in Mexico. He feels sorry for the lady in Mexico. He's gonna leave that for the last. Trust me, he's gonna leave that for the last. He's leaving that for the last because it's too close to the border. It's too close to the border right now, right? You're from the NYC. Are you Latino? Okay, yeah. Right now, Mr. Donald Trump is getting praised, brother. He's getting praised by a lot of people. I've seen them come on here. They're calling him a hero from South America to Nigeria. Why are so much people calling Donald Trump a hero? Right? Mexico's the fifth largest producer in the world. Yes, I believe you. I do believe you. Or the sixth, whatever. But it's too close to America right now, the border. He will deal with them. Part of him going to Venezuela is to kind of like watch over Mexico, more closer to Mexico, right? It's more closer to Mexico. So that's part of it's a tact, it's a strategy. So he could watch right over them instead of like, right at the border, just seeing them straight. Now he has a other border. He got the Venezuelan border, right? Think of it. He got the Venezuelan border, which is a little bit better to like hide the military when they're ready to do their invasion of Mexico. That's coming. The man has 3 more years. He has 3 more years. Just think of it. What is this madman gonna do in 3 more years? But listen, as I say, mad, a lot of people support Trump, and Trump's not dumb. I'm gonna tell you that. Donald Trump is not dumb, right? This is like real estate. So when as he's in Venezuela, he's gonna set up what he gotta set up, right? Um, they're gonna control what they gotta control. So by the time he's finished being the president, you remember he's a businessman. He will have some type of investment down there. He's probably trying to get into the oil business, right? He's probably trying to get into the oil business. Think of it. Bush was in oil. Um, Trump's not into the oil business. He's into other stuff like real estate, but this will get him into the oil business. And on top of it, he's has the tariffs. People got to look on it. The tariffs. Do you know what the tariffs are doing to the world? Right? So he's been doing gangster stuff, right? Latinos are gonna offer their woman. Oh God, they're gonna offer the woman. That's what you're saying, brother. Yo, all I gotta say, maybe Trump's next wife will be Latino. Maybe that. But what's going on is South America is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place, South America, right? And I'm hearing that Venezuela has one of the best or a lot of waterfalls. So America needs clean water. They need clean water right now, right? They don't have enough clean water, so South America is perfect to capture. If you ever watch, I don't know, I'm gonna take you on to this other thing. If you ever watch this movie called, and they put these little things in the movies. If you ever watch Starship Troopers, it's not too far in the future, but it's a futuristic movie. It's supposed to be in the, I guess, 2080 or 2060 or something like that. And when the aliens, the so-called aliens, attack, right? Guess where the people are living? Americans. Guess where they're living? Yes, South America. They're living around that area, Venezuela, Mexico, or those places. America, like it's America, right? In that movie. I'm just saying, right? Back to this man, Donald Trump. War games. Now, they have help what's called Venezuela. They got people who respect them all around the world. They had Russia, they have China, and maybe Iran, right? So this is making a beef guaranteed with Russia. That's the big thing. This is America and Russia beef. That's the big thing. Let me remind you again. This is America and Russia's beef because I guarantee, and China too, I guaranteed, like I said before, they have investments in Venezuela. Who supplied Venezuela with their military? Like with all their weapons, the majority. I guaranteed it's Russia or China been supplying Venezuela with their weapons for years. So they got a relationship. China was just in Venezuela recently, right? Where's the United Nations in this? Where's the United Nations? Normally, when any attack, before any attack or anything like this, the United Nations or someone would have some say like in this. He doesn't care. Ever since Obama just done his thing to try to get Osama bin Laden, right? They do whatever they want. So you have to remember now, they marked down the cartels. I think a lot of people don't know this. No one is talking about this. They marked the cartels as a terrorist organization, right? They marked, let me say, besides all the invasion of Venezuela, before all of this, they put down, right? This is how they got in. Any cartels is no different than the Al Qaeda or the ISIS or any of these terrorist groups in the past. So now they are terrorists. So now that gives them the okay to go over any place like South America. What's with a cartel? That's a problem. They're saying all the drugs, majority of the drugs is coming from South America. And they're saying drugs are coming from Canada too. But the drugs most likely is being, kind of helped by South America, cocaine and a lot of that shit. They're blaming Canada for fentanyl, right? 15 billion people been in a big dump. 15 billion? Oh, 1.5. Oh, Lee. The world is going crazy, but this is not new to me. They had the military around that same area of Venezuela, the Caribbean, for almost 3 months. Now people are waking up after Donald Trump does orders or attack. Now people are waking up. They've been telling you guys this, man. It's just people were distracted by other media shit. That's what's going on. This Diddy trial, the Epstein files. Well, see, reverse psychology. I noticed they've been before this whole attack. They were talking, showing certain things about the Epstein stuff, right? They're showing certain things about the Epstein files and putting out pictures with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, man, he is snaky. They're putting out stuff about Donald Trump. And now he attacks, and look when he does it, right? Just look how he does the attack, man. Right after, right after what? New Year's, right? So he's ringing in the New Year's. And he did do a bombing in Africa too. That is historical. That's historical because America has not put themselves in Africa physically uh in a long, long time. So I'm not surprised because I do my research. If you've seen that Donald Trump bombed in Africa because it's for a reason too. Nigeria has a lot of oil, right? And he's using the excuse it's Christians. It's Christians we're trying to save, right? Before a couple years ago, there was Muslim girls who got kidnapped down there. He didn't give a shit. So now he bombed. Remember, he bombed in Africa. So no one's talking about that, right? Because the government agreed with that. He's saying it's Islamists, terrorists. The government of Nigeria agreed with that bombing. And if you look where the bombing is, it's at the border where Burkina Faso is, right? It's at the border right there. And that guy, Torre, right? Ibrahim Torre, Trump don't like. He would love to arrest that guy. He would love to arrest that guy, Ibrahim Torre. But guess what? It would be a bloodbath. The people are not going to be dancing in the streets as they show in Venezuela. Obviously, there's a good population who are happy with the overthrow of Nicolas Maduro. People are obviously happy with that, right? So Troy is different. He wants France to deal with that, maybe, but he bombed close by them, right? He bombed close by to them. So these war games is going on. And right now, Russia, America can't really say nothing to Russia. He's saying the Jews are happy. They're all Argentinians. I know about that history too. Yeah. After World War II, many people, right, from especially Europe, they went and settled in Argentina. Even some of the bad guys too. A lot of the bad guys, they settled down there too in Argentina. So there's a lot of European mixed with South American in Argentina, probably German, Italian, and all that. Yeah. But now, Mr. Trump cannot say nothing to Russia. Russia could do what they want, basically, with Ukraine in regards to Ukraine. Now, now is he gonna give Ukraine money now? Billions? Trump is a goof. See, there's mixed reaction on here because I see a lot of people saying Trump is a hero. Big population of people say Trump's a hero, and a lot of people I know don't like Trump, right? But Trump don't care because he's old now, right? He's old. Yep, we know you are a goof, right? So he's old, so he doesn't care, and he has 3 more years of doing destruction on the earth. Remember, he had 34 charges. 34 charges before he became the president, right? He didn't go to jail. He didn't go to jail. But this is no surprise because remember, he was the president before, right? He was the president before. And he's angry because he didn't get voted in right after his first term. So this is all revenge. This is all revenge. That's what's going on. Revenge. And for the oil, like Iraq. Didn't you guys see that he bombed Syria the other day? Didn't you see that? Didn't you see how? And Syria is a big military country, more stronger than Venezuela, way more stronger than Venezuela. Didn't you see him bomb Iran? He just didn't take the guy out, but he bombed Iran. Remember that. Remember, he bombed Iran. And then he went, sorry to say, he went to Africa recently, right? And now it's Venezuela. So he's not finished. He's coming for the rest. Colombia, for sure, he's going to Colombia. He is going to Colombia. And he's going to be going to Mexico too, right? North Korea, no. I think he's going to stay away from that guy. Certain guys, certain leaders love this because it takes the attention away from them, right? Mexico, no. He's going to go to Mexico, but I explained this why he's not going to go to Mexico right now. The reason he's not going to go to Mexico now is because it's too close to the border. It's too close to the border. He's gonna come back to that after he's finished with Venezuela, and when he's finished with Colombia, then he wants to uh, hold those two because he thinks that Colombia and Venezuela is working with Mexico, and that's where the real operations are going on, and they supply Mexico. So he wants to cut that off and then go to Mexico. That's what's going to happen. Mexico is too close to home, the border to California, so he's not going to do that. And one of the biggest drug kingpins, he's not in Mexico anymore. If they caught that guy, let me tell you, I'm going to give you this. If they caught that drug kingpin who's from Canada in Mexico, this probably wouldn't be happening right now. I'm telling you that straight up. It probably wouldn't happen now. Maybe later, but it wouldn't happen. If he caught that guy from Canada, Ryan Wedding, right? Ex Olympian snowboarder, he wouldn't be going to no Venezuela. He wants to show people, right? Right now, an example. Straight up. He wants to show an example. That's what's going on. He wants to show an example. So if he caught that drug lord, which a lot of people don't know about, everybody's talking about Venezuela. Everybody's talking about what he's doing, but nobody's talking about this guy, which the FBI just about 2 months ago had a conference about this drug, one of the biggest drug lords in the world, who that's from Canada, that's working with the cartels in South America. So if they had captured this guy, you wouldn't see none of this going on. They had a conference on this. They blame Canada for a lot of things, like a lot of the cocaine too, and the fentanyl. But they ain't coming to Canada. Think of it. They ain't coming to Canada to do. They're not gonna attack Canada. But he was saying he wanted it to be the 51st state. He was saying he wanted it to be the 51st state. So now, guess who's the 51st state? He couldn't get Canada, so he got Venezuela. Venezuela's the 51st state. As long as their government has no control, and he's saying they're taking over, that means Venezuela is the 51st state. Sorry, but it's true, right? And Colombia is going to be the 52nd state, right? That's fact. That's what's going to happen. But some Venezuelans might just say they're refugees or claim refugee status, come to Canada and go to America. So remember, they lost a lot of, well, if you want to call it illegal immigrants that was helping with the jobs in America. They were doing certain jobs that certain Americans wouldn't do. So now it's perfect now. This is a way that he could kind of filter out who's coming to America. So if you're a refugee, you claim this refugee status from Venezuela, he'll let you in and you'll be watched more than ever. No power more than God. Yes, no man has no power more than God, but some people don't believe in God. That's the next thing. So you could talk all the God talk you want. Some of these scientists and the government, they don't believe in God. So it doesn't mean anything to them, right? There's a lot of people who are atheists. Remember that. So these war games will continue, right? The guy from Colombia, he basically saying he better watch his ass. He got Nicolas Maduro. People are calling for him to be released. They shamed him on social media, showing him handcuffed, walking, right? The guy from North Korea, he ain't gonna touch him. Kim, he's not gonna touch him. Um, who else is there out there? There's all other characters, right? Putin, he has beef with Putin, right? They're on and off relationships weird. Sometimes it's like he praises Putin in the past, and now he's criticizing him. Now Putin's gonna criticize America too for this because they're gonna say they're hypocrites. Call it right. They're gonna say they're hypocrites because they're in Venezuela, and people have been criticizing Russia for being in the Ukraine. And America gonna still help the Ukraine? Are they still gonna give billions to the Ukraine now? Because it costs billions, if not more than billions, to do what they're doing, to have a military in Venezuela. It costs a lot. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the view, but yeah, it costs a lot, and people, please subscribe. Got a lot of content. Um, yeah. So, Mr. Trump is the continuation of what was gonna be coming from a long time ago, from Bush, from a 9/11 happened, right? It was a full new world order. If you don't know what a new world order is, go Google it, do your research. Yeah, the tariffs is part of it too, what he's doing. So from those towers dropped, right, which Trump is very a part of that, constructing Manhattan. If you go do your research on Trump, right, he's a part of that. Not surprised. Not surprised. Anybody who doesn't do research and just talks and says all types of stuff, I don't listen to. It's just funny to me. It's comedy, right? If you have knowledge, I respect that, right? Bring some knowledge instead of what we call fuckery. So the war games that Donald Trump is doing is making everybody mad, right? Everybody mad. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but it's making a lot of people mad and angry. But he knows this. He knows how to push people's buttons, and a lot of you are falling for it. He knows how to push people's buttons, and a lot of you are falling for it. So the only difference he done now is he's taken over the country. Besides bombing, he could have bombed it and left like Iran and Africa. Why didn't he leave? Because the he's blaming South America, a big percentage of South America, for the drugs that's coming in to America, and he feels by controlling Venezuela, he's gonna cut off a big percentage of the drugs coming in to America. But how is he gonna stop the drugs that's coming into Canada? It's from South America, straight up, because the drug lord, what they're looking for, that's Canadian, he's getting all his product from South America. And he has some type of way to go around and get it to Canada, and then it goes through that border, which is probably a little bit stronger than the Mexican border. But he's dealing with Colombia and Venezuela. When they do these movies in Hollywood, because people do watch movies, people do watch Hollywood, right? Who do they put in the movies stereotypically when it has to deal with big, large amounts of cocaine and drugs? Who did they put in there? A lot of the times, Colombians, people from South America, right? That's who they put in there in the movies, and people believe in whatever they see. So, because of that, now it makes a lot of people actually believe a lot of things, right? They get it up here. Trust me. Why should they go all the way north? They do because Trump is blaming Canada for a lot of the drugs too, not just South America. He's blaming Canada for a lot of the drugs, right? And there is people or organizations up in Canada that work with a lot of the cartels in South America. They got their ways to get around certain things with politicians and people in power, right? They're blaming Canada for the fentanyl, right? And then bring it back south because it's easier. Yeah, it's more easier. So that's what's going on. Like I said, if you guys want to know about more information about this from another voice, look up this podcast called The Original Gangster Podcast. Look up the organized crime groups in Canada. Look them up. And when you look these groups up, you'll see what I'm saying. You'll say, oh yeah, that's what's been going on. Because we got groups that have international reach and influences in Canada. Trust me, they've been doing it for a long time. A long time. The only reason they have been floating around so smoothly, the Canadian organized crime groups, is because I'll be straight up, I'm going to say it, it's because they're white. Did you see the guy who is the biggest drug lord, one of the biggest drug lords in Canada or in the world? He was an ex snowboard Olympic snowboarder. Would you think that it's a guy who's a ex Olympic snowboarder is one of the biggest drug kingpins and people got to fear him? Would you think? Eh, So that's how they get through, man. That's how they get through. Some of the biggest drug gangsters in Canada, they look like they don't look the stereotypical gangster. They look like the businessman, right? On Wall Street. That's how they look, a lot of them. They look like your university professor. That's how they look. So they've been working with the cartels for years, right? And I guarantee Canada is part of even probably supplying certain parts of Europe with narcotics. Yeah, shit. Right now, they're looking for this guy, Ryan Wedding. If they found that guy, this would never happen. This would have never happened. This would never happen. I'm telling you, people. If they found that drug kingpin, that they had a conference, a press conference with the head of the FBI, Patel, and others. It was widely broadcasted, blaming this guy and saying that he's working with the cartels in South America. That was about maybe 2 months ago. And just 2 weeks ago, they busted a couple of his properties. They found a whole bunch of stuff, but they didn't find him. So where is he? He's not in Canada. Where is this guy? He's probably, they think he's maybe in Venezuela somewhere hiding, or in Colombia. This man been making billions of dollars for years. Billions, not no millions. Every year he's making over 1 billion. And now why? People want to ask, why now? Why now are they telling us this? Why? I want to know too. Why now? They knew about this guy a long time ago, and now the FBI made a conference, a press conference about this guy. They could, because they couldn't get him for years. Yeah, Colombia is next because that's where they believe this guy is too. They want to not. They're not just want to. They don't just want to shame South America. They want to shame Canada too. This is part of it. They want to shame Canada because they're blaming Canada for a lot of the drugs. And this guy, Ryan Wedding, is a Canadian. So if they could just lock him up like they done the Venezuelan um, president, it will make us look. It just make us look bad in a way, right? It'll just make us look bad in a way. They kind of want to shame Canada, right? That's what they want to do. So you guys look up this guy Ryan Wedding, and then you'll see why Trump is doing what he's doing too. And it's for the oil. And it's for the oil. Definitely for the oil. And it's for the water. It's for the water and it's for the oil. I'm telling you. America needs some nice water and oil instead of going all dependent on Saudi Arabia. Mm-mm. They don't want to depend on places that far. They're probably going to set up a military base in Venezuela, like they done in Cuba. They guarantee they're building something right now, right? There's more. All type of minerals, all type of natural resources. They're going after all of that. Yeah, Canada has a lot of oil too. The only difference with Canada is compared to there. This, I'll be straight up. He ain't coming. He's not gonna do nothing like he's doing in Venezuela because we don't have no cartels, but we do have organized crime groups, right? And the only difference is there's a lot of white people in Canada, so he's not gonna do that. Straight up, I'm just gonna be straight up. He's not gonna do that. Elon Musk is his friend too, and Elon Musk is half Canadian. And Canada has a lot of allies, tons of allies, allies with China, allies with India, allies with most of the world, and even South American countries. Canada has allies with most of all the superpowers in the world. The world basically lives in Canada. So if you was to attack Canada, you're attacking China, you're attacking India, you're attacking the list goes on, even Europe, you're attacking. So he ain't gonna do that. That's the difference. And a lot of people hate America. They do. As much as people want to say that they like Donald Trump, a lot of people are calling Donald Trump a hero. That's what I see. A lot of people think that he's a hero, and they don't think he's doing anything wrong. They don't think he's doing anything wrong, people. So, what's next? He's going to Colombia. And China, you see, China, they're losing out on this because China wants the oil, like that contract. He wants that oil contract. The Chinese prime president, right? He wants that oil. Now he's angry that America captured this place and he's going to benefit from it. Same thing with Russia, right? So now China's going to go back to Africa, back to the Sudan, and have to put more money into that place to get some type of oil. They'd rather South America, in Venezuela, where it's more developed and it's more cheaper for them to do a deal for the oil. You know what Trump basically done? He pissed off a lot of people in the world by doing this, right? Economically, which he doesn't care because the tariffs. You know what the tariffs is if you do your research. So he does not give a damn. But this whole thing with Venezuela is very big. You have to wonder now. Look on this now. Look on this. How come the oil prices haven't risen? Normally, when a war or a conflict is going on, the oil prices go up. That's kind of strange that the oil prices haven't gone up since this whole invasion or whatever he's doing. The oil prices haven't gone up. Don't you find that funny? But when they're in Iraq or doing certain things like that, the oil prices were high. Like ever since 9/11, and I remember ever since 9/11, the oil prices went up crazy. Over $1, man, to fill up your tank. Over. It wasn't like that before. So now you gotta look on this now. Why isn't the oil prices rising up even more? I gotta check today. I gotta check it out today. Why is the oil prices still low? What do you say? When you claim Elon is Canadian, when he's from South Africa. Yes, he's from South Africa. If you do your research, because I do my research besides talking, right? One of his parents are half Canadian, or they came to Canada as a child and they lived in Canada and became a Canadian citizen. And people who come from other country as a child or even as an adult and get citizenship in Canada become Canadian, right? So he came to he went to a Canadian university. Do you know that? Elon Musk went to Canadian university before with his brother, I think, before he went to America. So Elon Musk left South Africa, right? I'm giving you some knowledge. Left South Africa with his brother and then came to Canada. And I think he went to the University of Kingston or something for a while. And then he went to America and became an American citizen, right? And set up some company, what you know PayPal now as, with his brother. Yeah. So Elon Musk, he even says it too. It has he could come to Canada and he could probably run for government if he wanted to. Yeah. So look that up, right? He went to a Canadian university. And Elon Musk is no better either. His whole family are thieves themselves, right? South Africa, but they own all this shit down there. Come on now. But anyways, back to Mr. Trump. And those guys are still friends. The war games, what he's pulling now. Social media is helping him. It's helping him right now. Social media, because he's putting out the message to uh, a lot of the others that he's going to go to. Recently, I seen the president of Colombia going at Trump, going at Trump, calling him out. Is that a smart move? Is that a smart move? Hopefully, you don't have that drug kingpin in your country, because if you have that drug kingpin in your country, it doesn't look good. So they're coming in. They're coming in. So they got Venezuela. They're gonna filter that out to see if that guy's there too, right? The drug kingpin from Canada. And then they're gonna go to Colombia, right? They might go to Colombia. Or if Colombia finds this guy and gives him up, it looks good. My advice to the president of Colombia, right? If you find this guy, if you know where he's at and you capture him and you gave him up and you give him up to Trump, he won't bother you. He won't bother you guys anymore. It'll actually look good for you guys, because this guy's hiding out right now in some South American country, right? He's hiding out, and they want him, right? They want this guy, Ryan Wedding. They want him. So a lot of people don't know about this. I'm giving you the knowledge. I don't know if other platforms are talking about this individual, but it's all linked. It's all linked, right? They've been in the Caribbean for over 3 months with the military surrounding Venezuela, right? They've been there. So people wake up. My friend told me the other day there's a big oil, I think it's an oil tanker or something. China has something close to Jamaica, and that's in the Caribbean. Why do they have a big oil tanker right next to Jamaica? Why? Because it's in the Caribbean close to South America. So China probably already had a deal to get a lot of oil from Venezuela. And now America is interfering with that. That's what's going on. America is interfering with a lot of business. Trump doesn't care. The tariffs. Do you know what the tariffs are? Right? Do you know what the tariffs are? Look up the tariffs, people. Just look it up. It's costing a lot of countries a lot of things. And like I said, China had an oil tanker, as my friend told me, near Jamaica. People are wondering why it's there. Hmm. There's a lot of military buildup in the Caribbean. So anybody who's talking against Trump right now, if you ain't clean, and America ain't clean either, but if you ain't clean, he's gonna target you. Especially if you're talking about him. You're gonna be a big target. He ain't joking with people now. Trust me. He ain't joking. Right? They did have a deal. And after they sanctioned the oil. People are angry right now, man. China's angry. Russia's angry. Maybe even Iran. No, Iran's not angry. They got their oil. But China and Russia are angry right now. America, when they went to Iran and blasted Iran, I think they had damaged their oil, not all of it, but their oil production. What they put some damage to it, right? Remember that. Don't forget they went into Iran and they done a job on them too. They done a job on Iran too. Do not forget that. People are forgetting that. Every place they're going to has oil. They're not going to no place what doesn't have any oil, right? And I'm pretty sure South America probably has oil. Some probably down like more places too. So he wants to stop the flow of the narcotics that are coming from South America. And this is a colonization, like it or not. He's colonizing uh, Venezuela. He's gonna go after Colombia, right? Earnings and being a security. Let's see. Yeah, yep, yep. Venezuela's just gonna get worse. It's just going to get worse. It might go into civil war after the Americans fully leave, if they even leave. It might go into civil war because Trump is saying he ain't leaving until they put somebody they feel in place. They don't want it to be like other situations where somebody comes in and is worse. So they want to put somebody in, aka puppet government, that listens to them, follows their rules, and anytime America feels they want to come into Venezuela, they are welcome, right? If Venezuela has any cartels down there that's giving any problems, they are welcome in. That's in stone right now. Yep, that's in stone right now. Donald Trump's war games. Much respect to you. Where are you talking about? You talking about the guy with the Canadian flag? Where are you talking about? Venezuela? Venezuela right now, what this guy done is historical. Historical. It will never be the same. Canada is done. How long till you split? They tried to do that. Uh, Canada ain't done. Canada ain't done. It's just a young country. It's not finished. People in Canada, they might not show their patriot, their love as much as other countries. It's not done because it's a haven for the world. And all the people who are here, they love Canada. They love what Canada gives them. So it's not finished. Even though Donald Trump is saying a lot of the drugs is coming from Canada. Donald Trump has 3 more years, 3 more scary years. Donald Trump has 3 more scary years, people. They tried to assassinate him, right? Didn't work. Um, will they try to impeach him? Let's see. Nothing to do with the drugs. What is it to do with then? Because that's what he's going after. He's going. Donald Trump is going after the cartels, and he wants the oil. And the cartels are helping a big drug lord that is from Canada, and that drug lord is supplying many American citizens with illegal drugs and supplying most of Canada with illegal drugs. He wants to reinstate the oil companies that were already there, put them initial investment. Oh, so that's what he wants to do. Reinstate the oil companies. So what happened was this guy, Nicolas Maduro, taking away the power from these oil companies and putting the money in his own pocket. If it's like that, then that's part of it, right? Or prompt the right. Holy shit. Yeah, man. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I see the convo going on, but yeah, you say, okay, Trump stop the drugs. Trump stopping the drugs. Trump wants to stop the drugs in Canada, man. Right? We have a lot of oil too. That's why he was saying the 51st state. That's why he kept saying Canada should join us as the 51st state. This man is like a tyrant, right? He's a big tyrant. Um, he wants the world, if he could have it, which is in motion right now. Like I said, this is the new world order, one of the new world order buttons he's turning on. This is one of the new world order buttons he's turning on, right? Showing their power. He went to Africa recently, bombed, bombed down a certain part in Nigeria, right? He went to, like I said, Iran not too long ago, bombed them. Didn't go through no UN, didn't go through no NATO, didn't have any type of warning. Well, he might say he had some type of warning, and just went down there and bombed, right? Right? He just went down there and bombed. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. He's an old man, right? He has 3 more years, like I mentioned, plenty of times, 3 more years of destruction. Um, he had charges against him, right? Before he became the president, no one really fight for him to be in prison. Donald Trump. They're gonna wait until this man's like what 80 something to charge him with crimes. By that time, he won't care, right? By the time Trump is like 80, he won't give a damn. I don't know how old Trump is, but I think he's like 70, in his mid 70s, right? I don't want to say exactly. I don't know, but I know he's in his mid 70s. So by the time he's finished being the president, if he does finish being the president, he'll be near 80 years old, right? So he doesn't care. The worst thing is having an old guy that old as the president, and with his attitude, they'll do anything. Anything. He wants to change the world. He wants to leave a mark, right? Oh, damn, he's 79. Whew. So that means, damn, he's going to be like 83 by the time he's finished. Nah, that look on that. Thanks for that. Look on that. If he's 79 and he got 3 more years, maybe he thinks he's not going to live that long. So let me be in the history books or whatever history. Let me make history and be the one to take out these governments that are supplying drugs to the Americans, right? That's what he's doing. He is basically making history. If he's that old, I know he's in his 70s, but if he's 79, just look, it's over. People should be very scared. You should be very scared what he's doing. I'm scared now. Now you're saying that he'll go anywhere, right? But will the American military support him with all what he's doing? Is the American government gonna try to stop it? They could kind of, come into this, intervene. Where's the Democrats? What are they saying? Boy, now they come from Venezuela. Ah, so he's saying it doesn't come from the southern border. It comes from Venezuela. Okay, so that's probably the reason why he's targeted um, Venezuela. Venezuela to me was not known, right, to my knowledge, as a big drug country. It was to me in the past. I looked on Venezuela as a sophisticated, if you want to call it, South American country, and that's what he's looking at, right? A beautiful country. I never looked on it as a drug cartel country, but then again, looks are deceiving. Everybody targeted Mexico as a stereotypical drug cartel country. Everybody targeted Colombia as the stereotypical drug country, and even the Caribbean in the West Indies. Next is Colombia. Mm, yes, for sure. Next is Colombia. It doesn't help that that president is talking spicy about Trump. Anyone who talks about Trump is gonna get it. That's just his attitude. You should really, that guy should know better, right? Anybody who talks a certain way he doesn't like, he's gonna go after you, man. What you say? Venezuela oil is pretty shitty. Oh, it's pretty shitty. But you know what? He doesn't care if it's pretty shitty. Venezuela oil. You know why he doesn't care? Because obviously Russia and China have some interest in it, and they're willing to take that shitty oil. So this is a way to kind of like screw Russia and China. It's a war games economically, like the tariffs. He doesn't care if it's shitty. He just wants to slow put a middle finger to Russia and China, the other superpowers, right? So what else is gonna happen with this whole fiasco? What's going on in the world? Like I said, did the oil prices go up? I haven't seen the oil prices go up. No, no. But the big thing is they're going after this drug kingpin. Alberta's oil would have been cheaper to deliver by pipeline. They are making a pipeline. They're still working on the pipeline in Canada. They still are working on that. I think they already have probably some link already. That's why he was mentioned in the 51st state, right? Because he knows Alberta and Canada has a lot of natural resources, got a lot of oil up here, right? In Canada. But right now, his target is South America. He wants more. This is a monopoly game to him. Definitely, he's going to go to Colombia and then make his way back to Mexico. That's what's going to happen. He's going to go to Colombia and make his way back to Mexico. He's leaving that for last. You know why he's leaving that for last? It's too close to home, right? He wants to make sure he has a strong hold right there when he does it. He doesn't want he doesn't want his military to be too spread out like that. He wants to make sure he stabilizes Venezuela, Colombia. You see that wall? Remember that wall he was talking about? That's what he's doing. He's going to stabilize Venezuela, Colombia, and that wall will be built in those places to cut off Mexico and then hit Mexico and do the same thing. And when he hits Mexico and then he got Venezuela and Colombia, damn, that's part of the New World Order. That is part of the New World Order. And then he's going to go back to Africa. Yes, he's not done with them. Then he's going to go back to Africa and probably influence something over there to go after that Traore guy. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. And if Iran, he already threatened Iran recently. If Iran still keeps up with their foolishness, he's going to fully attack them and put troops on the ground or something. Iran can't do nothing anymore, right? Iran cannot do anything anymore. If they do anything and get the attention from Trump, because he already warned them. He warned them after that bombing, what he done in Iran, right? He remember that. He warned them. So if he has to go back with the military, he's gonna bomb them harder and he will destabilize the whole government too. America has a big army and technology. Remember that, right? So that's what's going to happen if they don't listen. He's going back to Iran. I'm hearing they're going on with their foolishness once again. So they think, oh, America can't handle everything. They can't do everything. How big is the American military? It's like a religion. I guaranteed they have probably 500,000 soldiers, right? Not to mention the weapons and the air force and the list goes on, subs and aircraft carrier and all new technology we don't even know about. They're going to take over. This is the big picture because there's 3 more years this guy has, right? With his war games. He's going to take over Iran. He's going to take over the top of South America, right? Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, and Iran. And then who else is it? And if he has his way, if he has his way, he will go into Africa. And he really wants that guy from Burkina. He really wants that guy, right? From Burkina Faso. So if these, and I think they're a little bit more smarter, if these Islamists in Nigeria act up again, start kidnapping people and doing all that types of shit, he's going back there with some military, right? Commandos, and they're going to do a clean sweep, probably set up a base there. And Iran, if they go back there, they're going to set up a base in Iran. Guaranteed, they will be setting up a base in Iran. And they're setting up a base in Venezuela. And they're setting up a base in Colombia after. Everywhere they go, where they attack more than once, they're going to set up a base. If you realize Japan, right, after World War II or whatever, what did they do? Germany, what did they do in Germany, right? The list goes on. They've been in South America in the past, right? They've been fighting, putting. America's kind of guilty though, right? They're kind of guilty a lot. No, they're very guilty because in the 80s, they're funding certain things and they want the drugs. The CIA admitted that they flooded the streets of America with cocaine, right? I don't know if people remember that. The CIA admitted flooding the streets of America with cocaine. So where did they get this cocaine from? They got it from the so-called freedom fighters in South America that are now cartels. So it's kind of hypocritical because they were working. It's like when we say about the terrorists, they were working with the terrorists before. Oh, Bin Laden, right? They are working with him to fight against the Russians. So it's kind of funny now. It's because they're not seeing the money. The CIA was working with some people in South America. So because they're not seeing something now, and it's the governments ain't giving up what they're doing, now they're public enemy number one. It's not good, man. It's not good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, people in Venezuela were dancing in the streets. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were they not dancing in the streets? Hmm? Were they not dancing in the streets, or was that fake? That could have been AI too. Never know. A lot of things could be AI, right? So they showed on social media people dancing in the streets after the capture of Nicolas Maduro. So they're saying a lot of the people agree with his capture. Then you see the vice president going on television and saying that, yo, release the man because it's illegal, basically, what they have done, America. They're saying release Nicolas Maduro because what they're doing is not right. Hmm. Really? Have they found all this cocaine in Venezuela? Have they arrested the cartels? Let's see. Have they captured these big operations since they have taken this man out, right? On the other side, since they have taken this man out, have they showed the public these operations where they're accusing Venezuela of? I haven't seen any of this stuff, or maybe they're searching for it because it's like the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. When they're looking for these weapons of mass destruction, that was the reason they went to Iraq. You didn't, I didn't see them do nothing televised saying like, "Oh, we found these weapons of mass destruction." Now people are changing up the whole name, the name that it was biological or chemical or whatever. But I did not see that televised. So are they going to show us the proof? Because this is going to be interesting. They're putting this man in court, right? They're putting the man in court, in American court, and they're going to try to prosecute him under American laws. But where is the evidence? Right? You're not going to say that he abused his people. Where is the evidence that they're doing big drug operations? He's accusing Colombia of having drug mills. That's what he's saying. They just don't want to pay for their cocaine. Oh, Lee, you're probably right. You're probably right. They probably just don't want to pay for their cocaine. Where is the drug mills? We want to see the evidence. Let's see the evidence besides just bombing and then kidnapping or capturing the man and saying all these things. Let's see the evidence. There's no evidence. The government, he's gonna get blowback. Donald Trump. He's already getting blowback. He's go, he's gonna get blowback. And then some people are gonna say, I told you so. I told you so. You elected him. You elected the man, right? Right now, the opposition is saying, we told you so, right? The opposition is saying they told you, and he did not listen. And he's accusing Colombia of having drug mills. So, like, you got to really look on it now. How is Colombia, if innocent, gonna prove that they don't have that going on? How will they prove that they don't have a drug operation going on to Donald Trump and the government of America? That's why I'm talking like they done all this shit in Venezuela, but where's the drugs? Where's the big operation? Right? Where's the drugs? Because when you do a bust, right? You do a bust, you have the evidence. Where's the evidence? There's a whole document documentaries about, yes, there's documentaries about clump. Okay, that's the documentaries. Where's the evidence now? Where is the operations where America flew down with the military, with the whatever video, and and captured a whole bunch of cocaine to show the people of the world? We want to see that now, not no documentaries where other journalists, they left wherever and recorded down there and they talked about it. We want to see the American military that's going down to South America, bombing and doing whatever, and they're threatening these other countries. Let's see the cocaine and the whole big drug operation that's been going on in Venezuela. Let's see that. Yeah, the CIA, you're saying what I've been saying. Their face, yeah, blew up in their face. So the CIA was a part of this, aka the American government. They were in the business of the drug game. They admitted it too. I don't know if people forgot because social media has rotten people's brains, but the CIA admitted that they were part of flooding drugs into America. They came out on the news years ago and said that, right? Especially when the Black Panther movement was getting big in America, when revolution was getting popular in the minds of Americans. They flooded the streets. That's why you see the 60s and the 70s like that, when people were coming together and studying the government more and calling out the government. Then a whole bunch of drugs started. That's what happened. Please subscribe.